Guys with daughters. Taking my niece, 6F, to the museum today. How did y'all handle the restroom situation when you're out with your daughters without your so? A 6-year-old I would take into the men's room and wait outside the stall, and my daughter saw the urinals and said, "Look daddy, that toilet is busted." I took my 4-year-old daughter into the gents. She laughed at the urinals and called them willy toilets. I have 4 daughters. I just take them to the bathroom with me, get them in the stall and let them handle business unless they requested I stay in there with them. She's 6. I'm assuming she can wipe herself. When they were younger, I went back in the stall to wipe them if they needed. She's 6. I'm assuming she can wipe herself. Don't assume. Never assume. My 7-year-old nephew can be heard down the hallway hundreds of feet away. "Someone come in here and wipe my ass." And he won't quit. All the adults at barbecues will laugh for as long as he's yelling. But my sister-in-law and her husband always cave because they're afraid of giving him a complex about it. This kid has no concept of shame. Just belting it out like an opera singer. Edit. I had no idea this would blow up this way. Thanks guys. This means a lot. I noticed a few individuals who can relate to this. I'll give you a digital hug while laughing about these derpy kids/families of ours. I take my youngest daughter into the bathroom with me. She's 2. Other dads get it. Nobody gives you any weird looks or anything. We all know what it's like taking care of our kids. My oldest is 8. I'll let her go in by herself and just wait by the restroom entrance for her. Same for if I have to go. She just waits right out by the door for me. A little anxiety is to be expected when you're in that situation for the first time, but it quickly dissipates when you realize literally no one cares. We're all just trying to take care of our kids and use the restroom lol. If they have a family restroom, just wait outside that. Depending on the museum, this might be a safe option. Other than a main bank of restrooms at the main entrance, solid chance many of the other ones throughout the facility are single stall unisex units. If possible, there are family restrooms in a lot of places, which is just a standard single toilet bathroom with a lock on the door. If that's not available, just go into the men's bathroom with her and let her use a stall. I have 3 daughters, and I frequently have to take them to the bathroom in public in a pretty conservative area of the US. No one has ever given me the side eye. I suppose it comes to the fact that I look like I'm a caretaker taking his kids to the bathroom. 6 is still young enough that going into a public restroom by herself would be a little too much for her young mind. So for her sake, stick with her. Yeah. There's nothing at all gross or shameful about taking a little girl you're responsible for into the restroom. That's actually your job. It can feel awkward the first time, but 99% of people will either not care/notice or will realize immediately that you're the dad or temporary guardian equivalent and doing parenting stuff. I did this until my daughter told me she was okay going into the women's room by herself. Maybe 7ish. Old enough that she really didn't want to go into the gross boys room. Then I stood guard in front of the women's room, carefully not looking inside, until she came out, rehearsing how I'd explain my presence in case anyone asked, and literally no one ever did except once or twice, and all it took was my daughters in there and no one asked further questions. I'm a woman, and I just wanted to mention that a lot of people are applying that a 6-year-old can handle themselves in the bathroom, which in my experience is true as well. But my 6-year-old is still anxious about the automatic flush in some restrooms. Sometimes she wants me to put toilet paper over the flush to prevent it from going, etc. A 6-year-old Emo would be fine to run in and out of a public bathroom alone. Just check with her parents beforehand to see if the flush might be an issue, so you can hype her up about being brave beforehand lol. That's the only thing I can think of, which in my experience is true as well. But my 6-year-old is still anxious about the automatic flush in some restrooms. Sometimes she wants me to put toilet paper over the flush to prevent it from going, etc. A 6-year-old Emo would be fine to run in and out of a public bathroom alone. Just same. My 8-year-old will still make us cover the automatic sensor for her. Freaked her out when she was little, and never quite got over it. They aren't really designed for kids and tend to go off when you are still sitting. Not fun. I still get startled when they go off and I'm 26. I never expect it. Girl dad here. Tell your sister you'd like a little more guidance for what she prefers. But in lieu of that one, family restroom and wait right outside. If niece is comfortable. If she's not, ask if you want her to go in with her. 2. Men's room stall. You wait outside. If niece is comfortable. Same as above. 3. Ladies room. And wait right outside. If niece comfortable. Ask someone to check on her if it's been a bit. In that order, because you've been given responsibility for her. And it keeps you as the primary overwatch. The last puts a stranger on the job. My $0. 02. Why don't you ask her parents their opinion? Or what they'd be comfortable with in that situation? Definitely first move. Can she use the women's room by herself? Or do I need to take her into the men's room? At 6. It could go either way. Actually the toughest part is when op needs to potty. I'm a woman, so I'm not sure if I should answer, but I'm going to try anyway. I've been approached by men with little girls several times and asked to keep an eye on them when we are walking in at the same time. That's what I do. I try to size up a woman that looks like a good mom and ask. She'll be fine but would just look after her and holler if you need me. Proceed to stand awkwardly by the door. That's if I can't find a restroom with a single stall. You're doing it right. And now I feel super blessed to be in the looks like a good mom group. I have a lot of nieces and nephews. Regardless of the gender of the kid, I take them into the men's room. I've never once had a single person give me crap. She's 6, so you're well within the reasonable age range. She goes into a stall and takes care of her business while you stand outside it. As a dad myself, I just took my daughter to the men's bathroom and waited outside the stall when she was 6 before that, or helped her wipe if needed. When she was in diapers, I just went into the handicapped toilet if there was a changing option, and if not, the woman's bathroom. Not my problem. There are no facilities in the men's bathroom. Just own it. Don't make a big deal out of it. The people who consider this weird, gross or whatever should really ask themselves why. Taking care of your niece is what you do. You're responsible for her having a good time. She will most likely tell you she can do it all herself because she's grown up. You're just there to help if needed. You ask if she needs help with that, and if she does, find a family restroom or use the men's room. If in doubt, use a disabled restroom and just go in there and let her do her thing and either wait inside or outside the door. Surprised more people aren't saying this. Seems like a pretty obvious solution to the problem. I would just walk her to the women's doorway and wait outside. If she seems iffy, I may take her to the men's room and wait outside the stall. By 6, she should be able to handle all of the details herself. At that age, I would simply take my daughter to the women's restroom and stand outside and wait for her to come out. At 6, a girl should be able to take care of herself in a restroom. Just tell her that you'll be standing outside by the door. She can yell if there is any sort of emergency. 6 is certainly old enough for a lot of kids to go alone. I know a few that it would still be an issue for though. 6 is definitely old enough to be able to ask her what she would prefer, and if you aren't comfortable or think it's inappropriate, like you going in the stall with her, then you can reach a compromise. The real issue is getting the kid to admit she has to go. Female here. I have been asked more than once by a dad/uncle/male guardian of sorts if a little girl was in the restroom and doing okay when I'm coming out as they are waiting outside the door. Women /notice if you are waiting outside the door when we are going in, and when we see the little girl, we /know you're waiting for her. Usually if there is a problem we will jump in, i.e. this is how you turn on the sink. The paper towels are over here. Are you doing okay? Edit to at, the safest bet is to just ask your sister what you should do, lol. My dad is a single father to 3 girls. We always went into the men's with him. Okay, yeah, I figured it out. I asked a woman with little girls if she could keep an eye on her, and she said she would. So it all worked out. I'm an only boy in the family, so obviously whenever my dad was with my sisters I wasn't around, so he told me he would just wait by the door or ask someone older lady to look out for her. I just remember when my mom wasn't around and it was my dad and my sisters, my dad would just tell me to go into the women's bathroom with my sisters and I would just stand close to the door and they would shout if God forbid anything ever happened, and I would just yell for my dad. 5 to 6 was right around the age where I stopped bringing my daughter into the men's room with me. I taught her to clean the toilet seat first, clean the floor all around the toilet, and to choose the stall nearest to the door whenever possible so I could hear her if she needed me. She's 11 now. When we are at a large venue like a concert or pro sports game, I will now stand right outside of the bathroom. Many times I have found a mom with kids or high school / college aged girls in line and said something like, "Hey, this is my daughter. Would you mind just keeping an eye on her while she's in there? Lots of people around here. Yeah, no?" I've never had anything but positive results with that. The moms get it and appreciate what I'm trying to do, and the younger females understand it because they were that girl with their dads before. Side note, good on you for spending time with your niece. And extra good on you for caring enough to ask this question. You're clearly a fantastic uncle. Museums tend to have family bathroom. Just go there. Men's restroom. Stand guard outside the cubicle. Advise any men entering. If you get a funny look because you are in front of a cubicle, you say that you have a young child in the cubicle, and please be respectful of that. It's pretty amazing what basic communication can solve, and how often it's overlooked. XD. I have young daughters still in diapers and it's shocking how many places only have a changing table in the women's room. When that happens, if anything is said to me I just tell them I identify as a mother, since this business believes that only mothers change diapers. Not a guy, but going to answer anyway. Middle-aged safe-looking female. Ask her what she wants. Wait right outside the door. Wait across the room from the door and look nonchalant. Come into the restroom and wait by the sinks. And find someone like me to stand at the main door and let other women know there's a guy in there at the moment. Find someone like me to go in with her. At her age she likely goes to school so is already used to doing things on her own. Just ask if you think it might help. Discuss it when you pick her up from her own parents. Hey, it's going to be a hot day and we'll probably be drinking a lot of water and maybe a milkshake. What do you guys do when you gotta pee? Do not let the paranoia of pedophile that runs rampant on Reddit get to you. If you need help, find someone like me, graying but still feisty. We've seen some shit. We've been through menopause and no longer give a fuck. And we know that young girls need contact with multiple good male role models. The smart ones of us know that statistically not everyone helping a kid in a bathroom is a goddamn pedo, and we will have your back. Enjoy the zoo. Yay you for being a good uncle. Yeah. Have her go on the men's. Wait outside or help is needed. There is absolutely nothing different about how you handle little girls as a man compared to how you do as a woman. Anyone that makes you think otherwise is disqualified from having an opinion. I've sort of been at the opposite of this situation, as when I was a 6-year-old boy and out with my mom we would go to the women's washroom. I think it would be best for you and your niece to go to the men's washroom, as you wouldn't be out of place and no one is going to get mad at a 6-year-old girl for being out of place. She can use one of the stalls, and you'd be close by if she needs help or whatever. Dad of 2 daughters. I look for family restrooms first. If none available, until they were 6 I took them into a stall in the men's room while covering their eyes and I stayed in there with them. Now that they're both over 6 I have them go together and I sit right outside the restroom and they know not to talk to anyone or call for me if they need help. Took both of my daughters into the restroom with me. If anybody had any sort of issue with that, we would have a conversation. The safety of my children is paramount. You ask her if she minds the men's bathroom. If she says yes, you go with her to the ladies and let whoever you meet there know that you are there with your niece who prefers the ladies. Anybody who's got a problem with that are trash and should be brushed off with a smile. You have got to be assertive about it. If you want to take her to the ladies' room, you need to announce yourself and the reason you are in there. If you take her to the men's room, you should make sure you are with her and preserve her privacy. This, 2 daughters and I take them to the women's bathroom 9/10 times. I announce that I'm a man going into stall with a daughter or both. Never an issue.